Yeah, I think for a start, CDP, which is an abbreviation for Continuous Data Protection Technology. CDP, if you look at it from the perspective of the IT industry practitioner, requires a continuous data being backed up, and in terms of definition by Storage Networking Industry Association, requires a concurrent write on both local as well as the backup storage, so to speak, versus traditional backup, which is really a schedule, file and folder backup solution, which both have very different what I call recovery point objective. That means from the traditional backup, you recover from a specific point in time. Whether you back up once a day, twice a day, you can recover from the last backup. Whereas continuous data protection, there's no specific time. You can restore from any chosen point in time, and there's no data loss, so to speak. In between that, of course, you have near continuous data protection, in which you have unscheduled, I will call unscheduled snap or imaging of the data, whether some people call it incremental backup and so on, which usually use a disk imaging technology, so to speak. Therefore, narrowing the recovery point. So therefore, you can recover from maybe an hour ago, maybe 30 minutes ago, so to speak, when there's a failure. Typically, in a continuous data protection scenario, the requirements for additional hardware, higher bandwidth to replicate the data concurrently, as well as the complexity in terms of administering the restoration process will require more resources. And typically, because of the requirement for additional hardware, the cost is much higher. Whereas in the area of a traditional backup, is just really you have a software, you have a capability to back it up to a tape drive, and that's it. Having mentioned earlier on, between the continuous data protection as well as the standard traditional backup and recovery solution, you have the near continuous data protection solution, in which you achieve somewhat a best of both worlds. You have it at the cost of a traditional backup and recovery solution, and yet it gives you close to continuous data protection capabilities in terms of minimal data loss. As we are aware of, in the SME space, SMEs are no different from large enterprises. They require solutions that can give them as close as possible to a continuous data protection. However, SME, unlike large enterprises, do not have the capabilities of maintaining their IT infrastructure, nor the ability and resource to send their people for training or managing the running costs, such as high bandwidth. So therefore, for SMEs, I think they need to consider whether the technology that or the vendor they choose from has got a solution that's easy to use, that the need for highly skilled personnel is minimized, so therefore doesn't require a lot of training, and yet